epic viewers from the multiverse, prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting captivating stellar review video is about to be brought to fruition. What items will I be reviewing? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to address that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Abomination wave. Is this wave a paradigm of resound perfection? Is this wave the epitome of resound perfection? Is this wave the embodiment of resound perfection? Let's find out. As a totality, I'd raise this wave to be a 2 out of 10 at best in the form of a quantitative score. Now, why would I say that? Well, I need to be objective, I need to be humble, I need to be honest, I need to express my candor. But I'm holding these action figures to a standard that existed in the past. I have to give these figurines a 2 out of 10 at best because the Toybiz iterations of these characters, the Toybiz versions of these figures, retailed for 250% less than the Hasbro iterations of these characters. So these figurines unequivocally do not offer 250% more value than their Toybiz counterparts. That's disappointing. Dismay has ensued, unfortunately. But why? That is the salient question. Why are these figurines abhorrent as $20 action figures, or as action figures that command hefty, staggering, exorbitant premium prices of over $20? Well, they're inferior to their $8 Toybiz counterparts. Now, why do I say that? Let's find out. I'm going to elucidate why right now. They do not have as many points of articulation as their Toybiz counterparts. The Toybiz Captain Britain possessed finger joint articulation. The Toybiz Captain America possessed toe articulation. In other words, the Toybiz versions of these characters had far more points of articulation than the Hasbro versions of these characters, irrespective of being priced 250% less than the Hasbro versions of these characters. So, with Hasbro, you're paying more for less. With Toybiz, you're paying less for more. What else is another issue? Their paint washes, their shadings, their hues, their deco, their design, their sculpts, their accessories are not on par with the Toybiz Marvel Legends versions of these characters. If you recollect buying the Toybiz Marvel Legends Wonder Man, then you recollect receiving a hover bike or some type of futuristic vehicle with him. With this Wonder Man figurine, you receive these bland, purple, translucent energy blasts that are just shoddy and cheap looking. They're not aesthetically appealing. They don't appease me. Now, it's nice that Hasbro's now integrating interchangeable hands with their figurines. I detest the fact that a plethora of them have open hands. That really agitates me, that grinds my gears, but hopefully that issue will be rectified in the future. They omit to include finger joint articulation, and if they don't, then they should at least include interchangeable hands if these figurines are going to have gaping apertures between their fingers. I mean, that's just something that grinds my gears and agitates me and invokes my rage, but hopefully it'll be rectified in the future. They're starting to remedy that issue now, but I just can't vindicate buying the slot. Now you get the Abomination Build A Figure. Is he the redeeming figurine within the slot? He isn't. The shadings are just hideous. I don't like that green tinge in the middle of his torso mixed in with the dark green shading on his upper arms. I mean, it just looks inconsistent and looks incohesive. What else? I'm not a fan of the movie-based designs of Captain America and Scarlet Witch. These movie-based seams, these movie-based motifs that pervade through the lot, or that pervade the wave, that adversely affect the wave, in my opinion, do not appease me. I'd prefer if they had classic comic book designs. I'd also prefer if Hasbro was a bit bolder and was a bit more audacious and had the temerity to take risks. They keep re-releasing variants of the same character. They reuse molds, they reuse sculpts. With Toybiz, you received a new sculpt every time you bought a figurine for the most part. I mean, there are some exceptions, but Toybiz didn't perpetually reuse the same molds. I just think that for $20 plus tax per figurine, you're just not gaining as much value as you would if you spent the money buying Toybiz figurines when they were first released. So it's just disappointing, and it's just disgraceful to the consumer. But people concede and succumb to paying these hefty, exorbitant premium prices. Now, the only redeeming factor of this lot is being able to procure Eel. Eel is a character that's never been released in the Marvel Legends line or in 6-inch action figure form, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he may have been released as a custom-made figure on eBay, but I'm not aware of that. I wasn't apprised of that, whether or not he was released on eBay as a custom-made figure, but I'm sure someone, at least one person in the multiverse, already has him in the form of a custom-made figure. But it's nice that he's being integrated into the Marvel Legends action figure line. Now, of course, he seems to reuse the same mold as Blizzard, so that's disappointing, but it's essentially the Blizzard figurine with new aesthetics, so I can cope with that. But I'm not going to pay $20 for him. At most, I'll pay $10 for him, just because Toybiz didn't release an Eel figurine, so that ramps up the value of the lot, and that's why I give the lot a 2 out of 10. As opposed to a 1 out of 10. Now, the reason I would give the lot a 1 out of 10 if it didn't include EO is because at least the Marvel Legends line is continuing, and I want the line to continue in perpetuity. I want this line to incessantly continue, even if variants and even if reiterations of let me ramp that. I want this line to perpetually continue, even if these figurines are being re-released, and even if new variants and even if new versions of these figurines are being churned out without new characters being released. So even if these are iterations of the same characters with slightly modified designs, and I'm content with that as long as the line continues. If it will keep the line afloat, then by all means go for it. But I hope that they could be a bit more audacious and less intrepid. I want them to be intrepid, but that may not transpire. But getting back to the line, we have Captain America, Captain Bird, and Wonder Man, Eel, Scarlet Witch, and Iron Skull, as well as a Abomination Build A Figure. And sorry about going on rant about these figurines. I apologize about raving. I'm trying to be a bit more cohesive in this monologue, but it's arduous to do. I'm trying to garner my thoughts and be collective here. But just to summarize, to recapitulate, succinctly stated, these figurines are just not worth the price, in my objective opinion, because they don't have as many points of articulation on par with the Toybiz Marvel Legends figurines, and because their shadings, designs, aesthetics, hues, features, sculpts, accessories, and characteristics are not on par with the Toybiz Marvel Legends figurines. I would have preferred if they had more shadings. I would have preferred if they had more paint washes. I would have preferred if their features could be a bit more accentuated. I would have preferred if these figurines all came bundled with fisted hands. I would have preferred if that Abomination figurine had fisted hands and had more of a cohesive design. I don't like his cosmetic item. I don't like his garment. I'm not a fan of the Abomination Build A Figure. I mean, these figurines aren't dreadful per se, but for $20 they just don't warrant the price. They're just mediocre, and I just can't vindicate paying $20 plus tax for mediocre figurines when I bought superior figurines in the past for $8 plus tax that trumped these figurines and practically every single facet. So that's my analysis, that's my review. 2 out of 10 at best. Hopefully Hasbro will produce figures of characters that were never released. Hopefully they can make their way on new store shelves. I'm going to be optimistic and hope for the best, and hopefully they'll heed my word and either reinstitute finger joint articulation if they don't bring back finger joint articulation, if they do not bring back toe articulation that the Marvel Legends line used to have, and hopefully they'll at least add interchanging hands to every figure that are fisted, and hopefully they'll at least give us new characters, so we're not just buying variants of the same characters. So the only figurine within the lot I'll probably buy is EO for under $10 via eBay, and the reason I'm going to likely concede to that price is because I want the only reason I'm going to concede to that price is because I want a figure of EO since he was never introduced into the lot. So the advent of Marvel Legends Abomination Wave, or the advent of the Marvel Legends Abomination Wave, has been disappointing, and I'm not gratified, I'm not buoyant, I'm not jubilant. I just would have preferred if they had better details. I would have preferred if they had more shadings. I would have preferred if their features were more accentuated. I would have preferred if they didn't have movie-based designs. I would have preferred if the Captain America and the Scarlet Witch harnessed a classic comic book design. So that's everything I wanted to divulge and apprise you of. Hope that you found this video to be enthralling and captivating, as well as insightful. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.